Yo, Dre. Yo, Dre. Yo, Dre.
back at it again. It is Sean the Wise One. Y'all know, Jono Star. Anyway, just wanted to have a quick recap or preview, however you want to look at it, for this upcoming game. I believe it starts at either 7 o'clock or 7:30. Yes, sir. The series should finally be a series. You know, the Miami Heat have been front running. They are accustomed to being a front running team. That gets put to an end tonight. Yes, I am a Sixers fan, but I'm a realist at the end of the day. And right now, the Sixers are getting a guy who's going to change the entire complexion of this series, regardless of if Kyle Lowry comes back or doesn't come back. He's not going to have that much of an impact on how the Heat play or how they do things schematically. Uh, Joel Embiid, he has been cleared for concussion, from the concussion that he had early today, and so rest assured, with the orbital fracture, I'm sure that was never really a problem going into today. He needed to go through the proper steps in terms of clearing himself to be able to play, which he's able to now play. So, definitely something to look forward to. The Sixers are getting a big man. Uh, right now, they don't have any big man. Jordan is a shell of himself. He's been a shell of himself for the past 2 3 years now. Uh, so I do expect Paul Reed will be the one coming off of the bench to replace Joel Embiid, to spell him for those couple of minutes that Joel Embiid won't be on the floor. I expect Joel Embiid, it will take him probably at least a full first quarter to get himself into rhythm, considering he hasn't played or practiced in about 8 9 days. He hasn't played for full over a week now, so we're going on 7 days to probably 10 days. Yes, I know he was at shooting around, but that is not enough time to have a rhythm when you haven't played a real game in quite some time. Uh, with that being said, it's probably only going to take a quarter for him to get ready, uh, in order for him to catch some type of a rhythm, which I don't expect it will take him too long to catch this rhythm, because really and truly, Joel Embiid has two dimensions to his game. You know, he has a finesse dimension, which might take him some time to get that part of it, acclimated. But in terms of his physicality, the other dimension that he brings, that shouldn't take any rhythm. You know, he should just establish his dominance, since he will be the biggest guy on the court. Uh, you know, Forcing triple teams, not just double teams here, but triple teams. The way the Miami Heat guard him, and they like to swarm at him, they're always triple teaming him. Um, they might switch it up between triple teams and double team. I say all that to say he will still be double teamed, and that will be, our team, the Sixers team, the Sixers players. That will present an opportunity for them to capitalize as long as they make their shots. Tobias has actually been the best player in the Raptors series, and he looks like he's the best player again, in this Miami Heat series. Tyrese Maxey is clearly the more explosive player, but in terms of just consistency, being able to score on all three levels of the defense and being able to get his own shot, that's something Tobias Harris can do in spades. I wish his only problem is being able to do it, more. He just doesn't do it enough. If the Tobias Harris you guys are all seeing now, that's a max player. You know, it's just the mindset why he doesn't do what he does more and more consistently. With his game, I don't know why he can't give you an easy 30 points. I'm getting off of topic. I say all this to say the Heat need to watch out, because it's time. Joel Embiid is back. I don't care. I don't give a damn if he's in a mask or if he's not in a mask. You guys, the Heat, the Miami Heat, have been put on notice. Um, Beware. I don't expect Joel Embiid to come in and shoot threes. I just expect him to just have his, do his Shaq impersonation. That's what this is. There's nobody that can guard him. I expect a lot of players to be in foul trouble, which will present more opportunities for other players on the team, a la James Harden, to be very more aggressive. James Harden is not a max player anymore. That we can all see. But I'd at least like to expect that he's still a star in his own right, capable of going off at any time. Now that he has his right hand man, the Batman to his Robin, playing, and I do expect Joel Embiid to play. All of this stuff that they're doing right now is just for politics. Yes, there's politics in the NFL just as much as there's politics in the NBA. Joel Embiid will play, regardless of the status that he's currently in, which is doubtful. Yeah, so stay tuned. Tyrese Maxey, I expect to have a decent game. So as well as Tobias, I expect Tobias to show up for me. He's been playing well. He brings so much things to the table. It's just that it goes underappreciated because he's so inconsistent and doesn't. He just doesn't have that aggressive mentality. But you look at how Tobias played in the playoffs last year. It was very less than desirable. With that being said, I'm sure he knows that, and so now you're seeing him turning it on in these playoffs. The playoffs is where you make your money. Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, Tyler Hero. Those are the three main focal points on the Heat's team right now that can, possibly go off at any time. I don't expect Jimmy Butler to if he's being guarded by Tobias, but then that gives you Tyler Hero. And I just want to touch on Matisse Thybulle. He has been awful. He's been absolutely horrific. Got to be a little bit better to Matisse. It's just not good enough. It's not going to get it done. He's supposed to be a defensive juggernaut, and I just don't see that from him. It's not even about the playoffs. It's about the regular season as well. The the wild, erratic style that he plays on defense. I just don't think the pros. I don't think the pros outweigh the cons in terms of how he plays on defense. He's always in a chasing. He's always in a tailing position where he's trailing the offensive player that he's guarding, which in reality takes him out of the play, especially when you're going up against the lead offensive players. It's one thing if the guy was moderate offensively and therefore he might be a little bit scary. He might fear that knowing Matisse is back there trying to block his shot might do some reckless, something reckless on the offensive end that doesn't score you the field goal. But when you're going up against these elite players, knowing that they have a guy Matisse behind them, they know that and they know how to guard against it. So him being in a chasing position doesn't really, put fear into these offensive players that he's guarding up against, especially in pick and roll situations when he likes to go over and then chase from the back. It's just not efficient basketball from the defensive end, and I see it lead to nothing. Optimistically, it just leads to fouls, and it just leads to him being out of a play, where then the offensive player that has the ball in their hands is able to do a myriad of different things, whether it's scoring the ball himself or passing it off for a lob. It completely takes him out of position and compromises, your rim protector, which is most likely in most cases Joel Embiid. In the end, James Harden and Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, we have more talent. Forget the bench. The bench doesn't need to even play. If I was Doc Rivers, I wouldn't play the bench. Last time he did that, you can make an argument that that's what could have got him fired. But again, here he is this year, and if he does the same thing, rest assured, he might not make it until the end of the season. He will probably be fired, and I'm not expecting for us to get Mike D'Antoni. We need to look for another coach, primarily somebody that is a leader of men, and primarily somebody that these players will listen to, because I can tell you for damn sure they don't listen to Doc Rivers. They might respect him, but that's up until a certain point. And so by looking at it, I don't look at it as the respect level is up to par with him. And so they need another coach that they can, lead. They need somebody else to lead. Clearly, it's not Doc Rivers, nor has it been for some time, which is why his last championship that he won was back in 2008. This is Sean the Wise One. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate the support. And even if you don't like it, shit, still give a nigga a thumbs up. Appreciate you.